Welcome to another episode, everyone. Poetic Flakko fires back at No Jumper. Shots fired. He said that the individuals over there are circus freaks and that it is not his fault that they don't know what they are doing. I mean, I expected him to fire back because, again, Adam22 fired him a few days ago, said that he was causing problems in the workplace, causing a hostile environment, if you will. And Poetic Flakko, he's not going for it. He said it's not his fault that those individuals do not know what they're doing over there at No Jumper, and that they are a bunch of circus freaks who hired a drunk, blind alcoholic. Sheesh.
The current No Jumper situation is horrifying, is a disaster. The current employees are absolutely filth. Say what you want about Adam. Adam has lasted as long because he's clearly great at making content. But Adam is a 40-year-old man. You can't ask him to be on every show on No Jumper and every piece of content that comes out of No Jumper because that's impossible. He's 40. But the peak of No Jumper has been Adam surrounding himself by a solid core of at least 5 that he's able to assign to different shows, and they're able to at least perform when he's not present. But nowadays, Adam has surrounded himself with a group of absolute nincompoops, dummies, stupid weirdos who can't even put together a coherent sentence or give any type of structural analysis on anything. So what we are left with is a bunch of babbling idiots when Adam isn't here. There are some employees who aren't completely babbling buffoons, right? They do have something to offer, but it's not 5. Trust me, I've gone down the roster. I can't find 5 that aren't babbling buffoons, right? That's just a fact. Now, usually I would ignore these babbling buffoons, but then it came to my awareness that these babbling buffoons was blaming me for why they are terrible at their jobs. I've literally watched episodes of the No Jumper News where Almighty Suspect, who's one of the few good ones at No Jumper, where he literally has to talk to himself for 2 hours because nobody around him has anything to offer. Like, he literally has to give his analysis. He has to offer his own rebuttal because nobody around him is informed, has anything to say, can provide any type of articulate analysis or coherent sense about anything. And these people are the ones behind the scenes telling Adam that I'm the reason why they suck at their job?
All that, Flakko was not really doing anything for No Jumper besides helping out a little bit with the news topics. Now, the reason why he was removed from that duty was entirely because I was sitting there on the news and everybody was complaining about how they were getting the topics 10 or 15 minutes before the news would start and how they felt like they didn't have any time to prepare anything. So the only stuff that they were able to cover on the news was stuff that was, you know, that you could watch on the news, AKA like 1 minute or less clips.
First off, I volunteered my expertise because I do daily news topics. I am successful doing daily news topics. I know more about what topic is going to perform than the nincompoops that sit on the stained couch. But don't listen to me. Let's take a look at the profound news topics they needed multiple days to prepare for, okay? Poetic Flakko brother apparently having a mugshot and a freestyle. David could get released today from jail. P. Nice got a new podcast. All right? Boosie and Vlad fell out over $5,000. Oh! These topics are profound. How could y'all not have multiple days to prepare for this? Ice Spice getting jumped at a Los Angeles McDonald's. Oh! How could y'all not be given multiple days to prepare for this? Now, here's the real issue here, Adam. The issue, Adam, isn't that I didn't give these absolute idiots and nincompoops multiple days to prepare. The real issue here is they didn't know how to do their job correctly or well. These people literally had a complaint where they said I didn't alert them a couple days before to listen to the Kanye album. Kanye West, a prominent rapper, is about to drop a really anticipated rap album, one of the biggest debuts of the year, and employees on a hip-hop platform is telling me they didn't listen to the album because I didn't tell them to listen to it a day beforehand. What did you think we were going to discuss on a hip-hop show the day after Kanye West dropped his album?
Because I mean, on the way here, I was listening to the Kanye album, and I'm like, there's no way that anybody like told everybody on the news, hey, listen to the Kanye album so we could talk about the Kanye album. But like, if I'm a No Jumper fan, I'm like tuning in if I know that I'm going to hear a good discussion about the Kanye album, and probably not if I feel like I'm not. Right?
Adam, you're being too soft on these dweebs. You're being too soft. You got to make them earn the $75.50 they make per show. You got to make them earn it, bruh. Because how is it that two people consistently are music lovers? They listen to everything. Suspect and Lush. So Suspect and Lush, who are just music lovers, who just listen to music on their spare time, they listen to everything. They show up with their analysis, their informed takes on music, and the albums already listened to. So they show up listening to these albums, and then everybody else is like, I didn't know I needed to listen to one of the biggest albums in rap on a rap platform because Flakko didn't tell me I need to listen to it. And I'm sitting there like, huh? How, first off, forget Flakko. How was that fair to Suspect and Lush? Now, I'm not even discussing, because again, I don't even know who was present or who told Adam this. I'm just saying, how is that fair to the people who are on the platform who actually listen to music? Because y'all are unwilling to actually employ people who listen to music, employ people who are hip hop lovers. I'm sorry, bruh. All right, if you need the topics the night before to have an informed opinion on Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane, then you shouldn't be on a hip hop platform, bruh. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Poetic Flakko, as we can see, is not necessarily happy right here. Those individuals, he believes, threw him under the bus. Nevertheless, I covered that video just a couple of days ago or so, where Adam 22 was detailing why he let Poetic Flakko go, why he fired him. He said, yes, that he was creating a hostile environment and all this and that. But Adam went on to his own little diatribe about how Poetic Flakko was not doing anything on the show anyway, other than the news. That he was no longer doing a podcast and no longer doing something on Instagram that he was doing before, and etc. And so Adam 22 also came at Poetic Flakko. Yes, I suppose some individuals there at the workplace at No Jumper had some things to say about Poetic Flakko to Adam 22 from what Adam 22 was saying the other day. Nevertheless, Adam 22 also had his own take on Poetic Flakko and as to why he let him go. And it wasn't just because of what those individuals there at the workplace had to say. Adam 22 went on to say other things. Again, that he wasn't doing much anyway on the show. Basically, it was just easy to let him go. So far, I have not seen Poetic Flakko attack, not that I want to see him attack, but fire back at Adam as well. You know, yes, your prior co-workers had something to say about you, I suppose. I'm sure to your face as well, to Adam, whatever. You know how that goes. But Adam 22 also had a lot to say on his own, separate from what the co-workers had to say. Adam went on to say many things as to why he let Poetic Flakko go from No Jumper. But Poetic Flakko has not addressed any of that yet, and probably will not. He's on Munchie B and them, or he's about to get on Munchie B.
Right? I'm having the same expectation I have on everybody that I have for myself. I'm expecting people who are on a hip hop platform, who's getting paid to speak on hip hop topics, to be doing research on hip hop topics throughout the week. You should know, right, what happened with Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane, right? Without you knowing if you're gonna talk about it or not on the news. You should just know, you know why? Because you're on a hip hop platform and it's your job to be informed. You should know what's going on. You should know what's going on with All-Star JR and J Prince Jr. and NBA Ben 10. You should know what's going on with David. But these people show up time after time after time, immensely uninformed. And it's not Poetic Flakko's fault. Trust me. It's not my fault, all right, that the blind dweeb didn't know that David knew Celeste was 13 years old when he was messing with her. It's not my fault. This blind dweeb showed up, spread misinformation for an hour or two, and then went home and still got paid.
She lied about her age and stuff. Look, a lot of this is fluff. The corpse shit go get throughout, and the little thing with the kid go get throughout because they found fake IDs of her, and people that was around David, they all said like, damn, we thought she lied and said she went to USC.
Nah, but public perception is not going to be that way because if you're in an intimate relationship with someone, after a while, you're probably going to know.
Got a video that's on the internet where she was like cursing out her neighbors and shit. She carried herself older.
Things like that is inexcusable. It's not Poetic Flakko's fault that these dudes are uninformed and doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, you can't carry yourself that old. The young girl was 13 years old, I believe. They're talking about the individual that David, the musician, was just recently arrested for unaliving. This incident happened some time ago, but he was under suspicion and they just now made the arrest. I believe they found her in the trunk of a car or something like that, but she was a 13-year-old girl named Celeste. And so Munchie B is sitting there saying that she carried herself like she was older, that she had ID indicating that she was older than what she claimed to have been when she met this individual, David, I guess. Oh, you know, I don't know if he's trying to excuse this behavior or what, but no, a 13-year-old, do your own investigation. You don't know that she's 13? No. At some point, you're going to find out she's not of age, that something's not right here. I mean, if you can't, for whatever reason, just see it off top, then it's going to come to, no, you know what you're doing. No way. No excuse for that. Sorry.
Hey, I didn't do the topics for that news, so what's the excuse now? David and Celeste has been in the news headline for about 6 months, right? There's been Discord messages that have leaked. There's messages of Celeste's brother, right? There's David going around paying people to keep quiet about him and Celeste. So every fact of this case is pointed towards David knew Celeste's age. Nobody has came out and says that David had no idea how old Celeste was. But your employee come on the platform and say that. You know, David engaging in lewd acts with a 13-year-old is gonna get thrown out because the 13-year-old lied to David about her age when that's just not true. They met in the Discord where David is acknowledging she's 13. But for real, Adam gotta start cracking down on some of these bums, bro. They're just showing up to collect the $125 that Adam is giving to the employees. Like the No Jumper max contract is $125 per show. That's the max that anybody over there is getting. Everybody else is receiving less. But some people got other things going on outside of No Jumper that they don't need the max contract. They got other things going on. But the bums who show up, right, they start politics.
I hope that's some sort of joke. I hope he's trolling. I hope he's just clowning. Said that the max contract is $125 for an episode because they sit there on live often for 4 hours, 3 hours and some change. Then you have to drive to the show, however long that takes. You have to prepare to go live or do your podcast if you're going live or if you're just doing a regular podcast. You know, prepare the topics and all that behind the scenes, get familiar with whatever the topics are, what you're going to say, whatever. It's a whole little process. It's a job. And then you sit on there in front of a microphone for hours. And then, you check up out of there finally and got to go back home. You do all that for $125, sitting on here with these controversial topics and all of this, and all you get is $125. I hope he's trolling because I'm sure No Jumper makes a lot of money. I'm not in their pockets, but my goodness. I know they fell off some, but still an operation. They still get enough views. And if these individuals are the ones bringing some of these views, no way, $100. I'm sitting there thinking they getting thousands. Maybe Flakko was just trolling. Jeez.
Doing snake stuff. Oh, they need that $125 per show. And it's okay if you need it, but you just got to show up and do your job. You showing up, like, dudes are showing up drunk, high, like they talking over each other. There's no cohesion. It's an absolute train wreck. And it's not Poetic Flakko fault. It's a train wreck, bro.
No, I found love, but if you want this dick, you want this dick, period.
You can give it to her in a loving way.
He starts talking about me.
You can give it to her in a loving way.
No,
listen to some Tyrese.
No, we gotta keep it real, bro. If you want this dirt, you want this.
Why you
dick,
slamming the head, bro?
You want this dirt?
He's serious about this.
You want this dirt? You want this dirt?
Get this dirt.
I'm the gangsters, bro. This dick good, bro. If you pass up on it, that's your problem. Whatever.
Right.
Fam, what sober-minded fan of hip-hop is tapping into that shit show to find out what's going on in the culture? Nobody, bruh. Nobody. That content, they're making content for homeless drug addicts who take baths at the bus stop. The clear and obvious problem here that's been ignored, these people are circus freaks. These are not serious media personalities. These are not people we're trying to hear give opinions about anything. No, these are circus freaks that we show up and we much rather watch from behind the glass. Nobody who's of value, nobody who's something serious, nobody who has any type of self-respect is tapping in to listen to this.
And if you don't it, then get the on.
You don't have to tell me twice, bro. I told Adam, listen, Adam, I'm no jumper. You know, man, right? I'm no jumper till I die. You my homie, Adam, right? We built this together. But if you think I'm about to sit at a table with those circus freaks, you're out of your mind, bro. When I want to podcast, we can podcast together, Adam. We could build something. We could start a show. We could do something together. But I'm not sitting. And I don't recommend anybody with aspirations in media to sit at a table with those circus freaks, bro. Because imagine how that reflects on you. You want to have a...
Okay, I get it. You know, Flakko has a strong opinion. He's upset. He's clearly on the attack, calling these individuals circus freaks and everything else he's called them. Drunk, dweebs, and dumb, and etc. Can't put together a sentence. But let's keep in mind, again, that Adam also has some things to say. And Flakko, as he just said himself, helped to build No Jumper. And I said this when I covered the video with Adam going off a little bit on Poetic Flakko, talking about why he let him go. And again, referred to many things other than just the conflict that was being caused there at the workplace. Adam 22 went on to say many other things, such as he was not important to the show anymore anyway. He wasn't doing podcasts anymore. So, because the other dude, Moose, called him out and said, why you not saying this about Whack 100? He said, well, Whack be doing stuff for the podcast, and he be doing podcasts. So Adam was against Poetic Flakko. So Poetic Flakko was just here saying, Adam, you my boy. It's no jumper till I die. We can do something together. I can work with you. But he's coming down hard on everyone else. But no, okay, they may have had some things to say about Poetic Flakko, again, to Adam at some point. This is why Adam said some of the things that he said as to why he let Poetic Flakko go. Fine. But just as they had something to say, so did Adam have something to say about you. And you're not saying anything to him. But I don't know. I guess I don't expect Poetic Flakko to attack Adam. As he said, they can do a podcast. They can still do a podcast at some point, come together. He helped build No Jumper. He's a part of No Jumper. So, and he's been going at it with Munchie B anyway. So, yeah, he going to come after him, show clips of him, and attack Munchie B. As he said, though, he doesn't even know who said what to Adam about whatever conflict he may have been causing there at the workplace. But it's understandable that Flakko is going to defend himself and say it's not his fault that they can't come up with the proper topics and they don't know how to podcast or what have you. Don't blame me. This is basically what he did. This is the gist of his message.
Serious media career, you think we're looking at you taking you seriously and you're at a table with those circus freaks, those weirdos, those imbeciles? Absolutely not. I feel so bad for Doughboy because Doughboy is the most famous, accomplished person that's ever been a No Jumper host. And he is tasked with having to sit down with a freaky blind alcoholic. I could podcast with a blind man. I could podcast with a freaked out dude. I could podcast with an alcoholic. I can't podcast with no freaky blind alcoholic, bro. Now, this podcast was an absolute disaster. So the freaky blind alcoholic, he gets up, pulls his pants down on purpose. After unsuccessfully hitting on the women the entire show, he pulls his pants down after telling them he got some good zig and then walks out so they can see his penis. This dude is an absolute... you belong on a registry, bro.
I think this is a great
That's a great segment.
This is we gotta choose up. And we're gonna call this segment Choose Up.
I don't want to do that. Choose or lose.
Okay, she don't want to do it. She don't want to do it. Do you
Freaky blind alcoholic. That's cold. Flakko took the gloves off, bro. He's on an attack. Says he can't podcast with a freaky blind alcoholic. Wow. That's cold. I'm sure Munchie's going to have a response to this as well. Jeez.
want to do it?
Y'all have to do something like cook for me.
No, we ain't got time for it. Do you want to do it?
I'm good.
What's your name again, Deidre?
I got that good girl.
Hold on. Deidre, do you want to do it?
I just put out sweat on her.
Put your pants
Put your pants up.
You doing that's too much.
What did you just do? What happened?
If not the balloon, I would have said.
You would have popped it on him?
Because he did this with his diaper.
Oh, Munchie.
I said,
Yeah, you thought I wanted to be like, come on.
Saggy Versace girl.
I'm about to go home.
Are you out here?
He said I want to go.
So we just
Wow.
Yeah, put your pants up. As soon as I was greeting, you was greeting me with the dick, like, you know, like.
I'm saying, bro, but before I call my to get out there and go home, I just put out the gerb and we can just get certified, boom, whatever.
What?
My thoughts exactly, man. What the F is going on over there, bro? That's what we're doing now, man? That's the content? Now, when the freaky blind alcoholic Riz ain't work, this man damn near wanted to take it from him, man.
What is the girl? What's that? What's that?
All right, Munchie. All right, Munchie B.
He needs some water.
All right, Munchie. He needs some milk.
He needs some milk.
Water.
All right, Munchie.
You need some water, milk, Uber.
All right, Munchie.
Whatever.
Thank you, man. Shout out to Munchie. Clap it up for Munchie B.
That's when it got.
All right, Munchie B.
Who?
Let's get Munchie B to the call.
Yeah,
Thank you, Munchie. Munchie did 13 hours straight.
Munchie,
Whoa, Munchie, your pants.
Oh my God. Y'all got his whole.
Munchie.
Adam, you gotta fire those circus animals, man. I don't know what's going on over there, bro. It's all bad, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you guys think.
Oh, wow. All right, there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Poetic Flakko on the attack on Munchie B's head. So Doughboy has been there before. This looked like a clip from some years ago or something. A few years ago, at least a couple years ago. I thought Doughboy just started working there. Flakko said he's the most famous, accomplished individual to work at No Jumper. I don't even know who he is. Was he an artist of some sort, I suppose? I don't know. But okay, Poetic Flakko on Munchie B's head says that Adam needs to fire him and others, that he can't put together a list of 5 individuals that work there out of all of those individuals that are worth being on the show. Goes on to say they're making $75, then says $125 max per episode. Nasty work. Says not so. I hope that's not true. And, said what he had to say about Munchie B, that he's a freaky blind alcoholic. That's sick. The gloves are off. They tripping, man. So he firing back about Adam letting him go from No Jumper. As I said, Adam has some stuff to say, but whatever. That's his boy. That's his coworker. He's not going to attack Adam. He's on Munchie B though. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free. People.